Last time out we met, we were in second place going into the winter break, a point behind Legia Warsaw and just 1 point clear of 4th place Lechia Poznan, who were trying to defend their crown. We also had a bid for probably our second best player at this point, Maurice Dabrowski from Inter Milan, which I am actually going to reject. But we've got a potentially good youth intake and we're going to try and win the league, because at this point, being in the title fight this early in the season means I'm going to try and do the best I can to ensure we get European football at least, and the league title at best. So, let's go to the youth intake first and foremost. The first things first, I want to talk about our league form, and we've had 5 games since we last met. We won the first 3 games against teams we really should be beating anyway, but then we went to Legia Warsaw and lost 3-1, meaning that if it came down to results between teams, we would be tied, so goal difference would decide who would go above each other if we were in a situation where we had to be separated by goal difference or results between teams. We also drew our last game by 0-0, and I'm just hoping that these results are not going to cost us, because I want to win as many games as possible and just try and do our best in the league. However, 10 points in those 5 games have now left us down in 3rd place. We've actually dropped down a position. Legia Warsaw are now behind us, and Pogon are now top of the table teams. Lechia Poznan are now in 2nd, so every team that was in the top 4 have switched around, and it's a very fascinating season to be in. We are now 5 points clear of 5th place and 10 points clear of 6th, so we are now thinking we can do well. Our next game is against Lechia Poznan, and I know that game might be a massive game if we are going to win the title this year, because of the fact they are also one of my main rivals. We've got the best goal difference, but with 8 games to go, anything can still happen. But we've had a youth intake, and I am very excited to show you the intake. This is our youth intake, and you can already see the player I'm excited about. We've had 6 players that have got 5-star potential ability already, so let's go over them. The second best player in the list in current ability is Dominik Malinowski. So Dominik looks quite good, and he's actually got 12 crossing, 14 heading for a player who is 5'10". His physicals don't look terrible, and he's fairly loyal, so that's great. We won't have to worry about him wanting to move straight away, but he's also right-footed, and I'm going to play him as an inverted winger. I just feel it's better, and the role suits the style of play we play, and I'm just thinking that we can do good things with him. He's also very consistent, so it's good to see we've got that in our locker. But he needs to work on his mental attributes and some of his technicals, but physically looks quite good. Does need a bit more strength, potentially, but other than that, he's exciting. A centre-back now in Marek, and I'm just going to say who now. He's 6'1", he's inconsistent, isn't best with his heading. He is a sporting personality though he definitely does need to work. His jumping and his heading ability not great. His marking also not great, neither his positioning. So definitely a player that needs to work. But he's also just 1-star current ability, so it's not a massive shock. Ignacy is the next player. He's also a winger who can be an inverted winger comfortably. He's actually his best role on the side, so definitely someone we can work with that. And 1-star current ability right now needs work, but could be really good. He is inconsistent, so that's the only negative, really. This is Chicheki, and Mazzala straight away. He suits the role. 1.5-star current ability. He is inconsistent and is a bit slow, but technically he looks quite good, and I have a lot of faith that this guy will suit our role. The fact he plays one of the roles that we use naturally is perfect. Now we're talking about Dominik, the goalkeeper, who is unambitious, but is 6'2", and has some decent attributes. Needs work, but long term could be really good for the team. I've held up on this guy enough, but this is Matthias Sulik, and fullback immediately. Very good. He's fickle, 3.5-star current ability as a wingback on attack. His flair is a bit down, but he is such a good player already. 13 crossing, 10 dribbling. The only weakness in his physicals is his strength, and that says a lot how good he is. Everything else just looks perfect. The flair is the only major concern, as well as the marking and the passing. And when I say passing being potential concern, that shows you how good he is. off the ball, needs work as well. But honestly, this guy will be in the first team immediately. The fact he's fickle and inconsistent is a concern, but not a major one. He's really good for the role. So, how do we finish off the season? So, the season has finished. We were going to face against Lechia Poznan, and we actually beat them in the first game after the intake, and it's already looking good. There's already a goal score you recognise, and yes, Dominik Malinowski scored on his debut from the bench in the 77th minute to get us the winning goal against Lechia Poznan. He made himself a hero immediately. We then went on and won the next game by a goal to nil before we actually lost to Władimir Kwadon, and I was thinking, okay, minor setback. The fact we beat Rakov 1-0 thanks to a 92nd minute winner by Dariusz Jasinski is really, really good. But the fact we lost the next game was not ideal. However, the response was really good. 4 straight wins against teams I genuinely thought we could beat. And 4-2, 4-0, 1-0, 2-1. It set us up perfectly, and I was so excited. The fact that Malinowski scored another 3 goals in this period is incredible to me. And we also got a 93rd minute winner against LKS Lodz as well, was really useful. And then we drew the next game against Lechia Gdansk in the last game of the season, and I genuinely thought for a second things were going to go badly, but we dropped only 4 more points in the season. What has this done for us in the league? Somehow, some way, we are the league champions. Quite frankly, I don't know how we'd pull this off. A year after we finished in 8th, and just 2 years after we finished in 15th place. We were 1 place away from relegation just 2 seasons ago, and now suddenly we're the league champions because of 2 players becoming amazing for us. I should probably mention about this, but Dabrowski did not leave us, and he's no longer unhappy, so we're really good. And Kowalski getting 25 goals this year is good. He's now being paid 1.9 grand. He is wanted by St. Pauli, and also has a release clause of 1.1 million. I do have the optional contract extension by club clause in there, but oh god, we might be losing this guy, and I don't want to lose him. The fact that Mariusz Dabrowski is also still here and is no longer unhappy is great. He is still wanted by Inter Milan, so that says a lot. The team that calls him to be upset doesn't want to leave us. He's got a new deal. He's got a release clause of 1.1 million for clubs in a continental competition, so as long as we're in Europe, we can keep hold of him. And we got an optional contract extension by a club for an extra season as well, so we could be keeping this guy for a fair while. He does only 1 or 2 year deals, though. This is slightly awkward. But suddenly, we're now apparently the 13th best team in the season we win the league. Just gonna say this here now, I have no idea how we've won this league still, but quite frankly, this has been our best season so far. And we also had 2 players in the Next Gen Award. Dabrowski and Kowalski were both in the Next Gen Award this year, and looking very good for it. So yes, confirmation, we won the league. For the first time ever, it was an amazing season for us, it really was. The fans were ecstatic with the fact we won the league. They couldn't believe we just pulled this off. The board were ecstatic as well. For the first time ever, we have done this. And just 6 seasons in the save, we have won the league title. I was praised by my player for the title win because they couldn't believe it, and I'm now an icon at the club, which again is magnificent. And we got given 1.43 million for winning the league title. We've been given 547,000 for the number of under 21 players we used in the season, which again says a lot how much we've done that. And we gave up 37 medals for the title win. 37 players played in this season. I think that tells you a lot, just how much we had to rely on other players for one reason or another. We did also pay out 327,000 for winning the title, but there you go. But yes, attendance record was broken. 12,448 people watched the game that saw us lift the trophy for the first time. It was more people than watched us take on Anderlecht. It's a record high. We've never finished higher than 3rd before the season. In fact, before our 3 seasons in recent times, we'd never finished higher than 9th. So the fact we've now got 3 league finishes that are higher than our previous best in 1985 is amazing. It's the least amount of league defeats as well, just 4, and it's really, really good. Matthias Nowak did really well. 7 goals, 10 assists, an average rating of 7.24, which is really, really good. We had 6 players in the team of the season that won the league title. Robert Kowalski missed out on the top goal scorer by 4 goals in the end. He's still got 25 goals though, and that's amazing. We also received 1.1 million for taking part in the league, and our budgets are now this. We've been given 105,000 to spend on wages and 2.25 million to spend on transfers, which, let's be honest, if we actually had to spend money on transfers, something has gone very, very wrong, and the challenge would be destroyed. But now we're here. We've completed half of the challenge now with this league title, and I still can't believe we've done it so early. No one joined us, but I actually sold Jacob Sutar for 7.5 grand. Yes, I sold our record goal scorer for 7.5 grand because he'd agreed to sign for them at the end of his contract, and I wanted the money now. We could have got a higher transfer fee, yes, but I just wanted the money, and I wanted the wage bill off for a player that we are not even using this season. We also made quite a bit of money for other players as well, an extra 40,000 maybe, but still good money, and we're happy with what we've done here. We'd also send Damon Kotko out to our affiliates at the end of the season, which probably wasn't ideal since they got relegated anyway, but even so. The fact we've won the league title this year is amazing, and we have a chance to take part in the Polish Super Cup next year. And now, the main aim for this save is to win the Champions League to complete the challenge. How long it would take us to do that, I don't know. It could take us 20 to 30 years if I'm completely blunt with you. But hey, we've done a good thing here. We've won the league title in just our 6th season. The fact we got knocked on the 3rd round isn't ideal, but what can you do? We need to win this at some point as well, because I want to win as many things as possible and be named in the Hall of Fame in both Poland and in Europe. Biggest win, 5-0 against Slask. Max, remember, the 3-1 win against Legia Warsaw, which honestly probably won us the title. And I'm going to show you Kowalski's goal that was named the goal of the season, because quite frankly, the free kick he scored here is ridiculous. This is the free kick that Kowalski scored. It goes in off the post, a really good free kick, and absolutely deserving of goal of the season. Finances, we got more sponsorship money this year. Everything's gone up. Broadcast revenue, corporate hospitality, prize money, matchday commercial retail. Everything's gone up. The fact our reputation is not 3-star yet is probably not ideal, but I think it will be after the new season ticks over. But we made 134,000 in merchandise, and we sold 2,383 shirts. Kowalski, Tchotchke, Damian, Balak, and Dabrowski, all in the top 5. How we line up was this, and the formation has not changed, but the players who are playing there have. And Pavel had a good season for the first couple of years, which is really, really good. Our back line was good. The fact that we only had 3 players that didn't get a 7.0 rating in the season was really useful, and it tells me a lot. But it's Adam, Michel, and Pavel not getting a 7.0 rating was not ideal. But at the end of the day, we still did our job and won the league title in the top flight for the very first time. Accolades. We actually got 2 Manager of the Month awards in this season, which is really useful. Tchotchke was the Player of the Season. Nowak was the Young Player of the Season. Kowalski got the Goal of the Season and the top goal scorer, 25 goals. Damien got 10 assists. Nowak got 7 Player of the Match awards at a 7.2 average rating, while Michel Podlesny got 95 passes per 90. He is looking exciting if we are to lose 2 of our best players. Kowalski getting 25 goals is good. He got 5 goals in a league game, which is why he's highly regarded. Tchotchke has now made 294 appearances, while Dominic, scoring his goal, is the youngest ever goal scorer at 15 years and 334 days. And yes, this is historic. We did everything perfectly, and we've done our job. We owe everything to the fantastic start of the season that kick-started the most unlikeliest of journeys. They say that we drew 4 of our first 6 games. We only won 1 of our first 6 matches. So the fact we've done this, despite that, is actually remarkable. It really is. We've won the league title, win the Champions League. What more could we do? And there's actually a bug in this timeline, by the way, which I think you might find hilarious when you realize what's happened. But I'm going to go through here and just slowly but surely go through. we're going to go to the next season. And yeah, the fact we only had 32 points just 2 years ago, and now we've got a lot more is ridiculous. But yes, we're 5 years in charge. This is literally, we celebrate our 5th year in charge. We took part of our 200th game in charge. And then we've done ourselves justice. We've made more signings again. And the fact that we've done this, and this is the bug. We won the league title, but then it says right through the leagues, we clinched promotion. How? We are the champions. It's not promotion. We are the champion of the top flight. It's not promotion. That's a bug I need to really talk about. But here we are. And the fact that Norak is the best young player, which is really, really good. So, supporter profile. We got 22,000 new followers, most of which are fair weather and casual supporters, so probably not ideal. But either way, it's good to get more followers. Most because they're glory hunters, and what can you do? What is expectations from the board? Be established. Despite winning the league title, they still only want us to be established, and quite frankly, I can't blame them. But we want to be competitive in the Champions League, which for me, the fact we can even say we're in the Champions League just 6 years in is ridiculous, and that developing players using the club youth system is great. We are developing quite well, and the board are delighted. So next year, we've got the league, we've got the Fortuna Pushod Polski, the Super Pushod Polski, and the Champions League, which will also could be the Europa League and the Europa Conference League, depending on how well we do in the qualifying rounds, which I don't know yet. It's remarkable, to say the least. Despite all the amazing stuff that's happened in the save, I've got to give a shout out to the relegation fight, which saw Rakov get relegated just 6 years after they won the league title in the 2022-23 season. 6 years on, they've been relegated after winning the league title. I swear, it's only Poland that has this kind of drama to my knowledge. We also saw a team win the Polish Cup that wasn't one of the big two. So, that's happened. It feels like no team can grab hold of the Polish Cup on a regular basis, which honestly is amazing. But Radon winning it for the first time, to my knowledge, at least in this save, is great. And Lviv PS to do it. Just making sure, yes, it is actually the first time they've ever won the competition, so it makes all of this even more remarkable to me. The teams coming up, though, are Arca, Lublin, and Gabania. So I genuinely can't believe that Gabania are actually a team coming up, because they've actually knocked out Cracovia, who, again, have fallen in the playoff final. I can't believe it. It literally happens every single time, and I genuinely cannot believe it's actually happening so often. But what can you do? So I'm looking at the coefficients this year, and Poland are actually going to make a jump. We're getting 9.3 points this year, replacing the 4.75 season, but next year we're losing the 8.75 season, which is not ideal, because we want to be moving up a position. We are going up to 13th place next year, which we just need to make sure that we can get into the top 12, because once we do, we could get a position where we could get a team in the group stage of the Champions League straight away. We had 2 teams in there this year that qualified. I really want to make sure we can do it again. But we've got 2 Champions League spots, a Europa League spot, and 2 Conference League spots right now. I want 6 in the future. Maybe even 8 teams in Europe, depending on how teams do. Speaking of Europe, though, Tottenham won the Europa Conference League for the 2nd time in the save. So the first team to have ever won the Europa Conference League twice, so congratulations to them. They beat Sevilla, who were also on the verge of doing it. And actually, Sevilla offered me a job interview at one point. And they've got 2 players who managed to get the top 2 in the Next Gen Award just a few seasons ago. So it was honestly tempting, and it might make me do a save with them in the future. Arsenal won the Europa League for the 2nd time in 3 seasons, beating Real Betis in extra time. So congratulations to them. While Man City beat PSG in the Champions League final to finally end their Champions League duck. They have done it. Erling Haaland's 17 Champions League goals was enough to do it, and Mbappe's 9 was not. What I'm going to do is end this here. I hope you guys have enjoyed yourselves. I hope you guys like and share this video, and that you subscribe to the channel. Really does help me out a lot. I want to know your thoughts and opinions of what we're going to do next year. Can we defend a league title, or was this a one-off? How far do you think we're going to Champions League? And do you think we have a chance of winning the Polish Cup at one point in the save? I really want to hear your thoughts and opinions down below. But either way, until next time, goodbye and well, good night.